I'm Andy Malfrina. This is Pat George. It's Sunday night. It's
Hi.
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel, on Pat's Facebook page,
Yeah, that's what I'm going on live right now.
the Baby Mermaid page.
No, just Pat George, baby.
Oh, just Pat George, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook, YouTube, all the different places. We are live. We are live with another goddamn episode of What About with Pat and Andy. I'm not Pat. He's not Andy. How you doing, Buckaroo?
I'm doing well, Andy. How are you doing? A little birdie told me that it was somebody's birthday recently.
I told that cunt bird to shut his fucking mouth.
The bird died after it told me that. I said, "Guess what, bitch? Snitches get eaten."
You're
And I
like,
ate it.
you're like, I'm gonna get Andy something for a special day, but also snitches. And you just crack his neck. Oh no, I've been having
Hell
a
yeah.
good week. I've been having a good week. I feel like you and me have been progressively getting fucked up and just texting each other like, we're gonna fucking run this goddamn world, motherfucker.
Yeah, hell yeah. Now we are live on my Facebook. There we go. What about
Okay.
with Pat and Andy? There we go. Sorry, I
Fuck
apologize.
yeah.
We are gonna we've been like empowering each other in like weird like
Dude, we've been hyping
it's
each
so
other.
weird because
We just been getting
I
fucked
think
up and
you were-
hyping each other up.
you were like maybe a little bit more inebriated than I was.
I was
Maybe, and that's not a judgment.
No, dude, the AirPods have been changing my life. Andy, like Steph goes to sleep, Andy pops in the AirPods, starts playing some fucking, I was playing the band we're going to talk about today. I'll play some other shit, whatever it may be. And he's just dancing in the kitchen. Texting his friends like, we need to start a band. Like, just shit like that, dude. I'm 31 and I'm not giving a shit. That's what's happening, I guess.
So you were giving me
Like that, dude.
a text of like, oh, like this could be us. Like I think we've discussed about bands before. You past guest of the show, John Montag, has been
we definitely have
times.
Well, we definitely have a super group within the works, especially with past guests. Jason Simpson could be sick vocals.
Yep.
John Montag, what did he play? Guitar?
I think so. Yeah, he has guitars, so that's perfect. I mean, either way, he could be a roadie. Worst case scenario.
Hell yeah. And yeah, I got the drum set. I also actually shout out mom and dad. Mom and dad, they hooked me up with the Sweetwater gift card. So Andy has a guitar coming in. So I'm just starting my midlife crisis early, baby.
That is very exciting because I've bounced around that idea a couple times of which one to get first, the drum set or the guitar, and I think the maybe the second stimulus or third stimulus that's coming in, either whatever doesn't go into paying off my debts will go into a frivolous purchase of either a guitar, and it's not going to be like a high end guitar. Like I don't need like a fucking like a super high end guitar or anything like that. But I am going to buy a guitar, and also at some point a digital drum set is going to be another splurgy for myself.
Say a digital drum set?
Yeah, it's going to be at least not like one of the pads or anything like that, but something that I don't even need like an amp for. I'm just going to plug it right into either a GarageBand or fucking some cheap ass. You know what I mean? Like it's never going to leave I'm not going to take it out live. Like I don't need that kind of shit.
You're not going touring.
No, I'm going to put it in that corner probably, or that corner, and then I'm just going to play to myself. I mean, I'm going to record it obviously, but it's going to be something that's I'm looking forward to that. But did you get so that was the mommy and daddy got you a Sweetwater gift card because they love their baby boy?
Yeah, mommy and daddy love their second born son. No, they surprised me because like they know I got the drum set, so they fucking surprised me with a Sweetwater gift card. Like, hey, get some more music shit since you're getting back into music. Because if you haven't listened before, I basically played the drums consistently from like Well, I started in the concert band in like 5th grade, got the drum set in 8th grade, stopped playing around the time I started doing stand up. So from like 8th grade till sometime around 2012, 2013, I was playing the drums consistently, and then I just got the drum set and I've been doing music shit. Parents saw that. They got their baby boy the gift card. The gift card got him a sweet little entry level guitar. So that shit's coming on Tuesday, and I've set a special life goal for myself. I will, in a year's time, this is a big one to say out loud. I'm afraid. I'm honestly afraid to say it out loud. But I want to set a goal for myself where I learn every time I die song on guitar. That's a big goal, but I think I could do it with practice.
Wait, is it like just every time? Because I feel like that has various levels of difficulty. And that's not to diminish their abilities whatsoever, but to say like to anyone, like, because there's some that are not easy.
That's fair.
Again, the thing with them, again, the thing we were talking about in the last episode when we were doing talking about Refuse, it's not necessarily the like chords or anything. It's more of the structure of the timing or something like that. It's not necessarily and it's more of how did they think of that first? Oh my God, it seems so simple, but it's just perfect.
True. I think I'm just aiming for like what do they say? Aim for the moon, land among the stars.
Yeah.
I think in a year's time, I'll realize I can't play an Every Time I Die song, but I'll crush it at like a Devil Wears Prada song.
There you go.
But no, it's gonna be sick because I'm gonna be able to like stream. Like I'll basically just disguise stream like my practicing as streaming the guitar. So I'll be able to like teach myself. I don't know. I just want to set goals for myself and get better at things and all that kind of shit. So I'm excited, man. I'm making goddamn childlike purchases, and it's making me happy. It's making me happy to buy things. Anyone who said money can't buy happiness, you haven't bought the right thing yet. You just haven't figured out what the right thing was. And also, you're probably just hard to get along with. You're probably hard to get along with because if you got a bunch of money, people are very willing to just go along with what you want to do because you're paying. So if money can't buy happiness, that means you're just not a good person.
Yeah, not only that, but also or you don't like cool enough stuff. That could be another problem. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
it could be just like it could like you just haven't bought the right thing. You know what I mean? Because there's some things even simple, like it doesn't have to be the most expensive thing or the most but like you find a nice comfortable pair of pants. At least nowadays, again, this is something that we both identify with. You're now in your
31s.
You're 31s. You're in your 30s now. You're in the third part of it. So now you realize you find like, oh, this is a nice pair of pants. I think I'm gonna buy a couple pair of these because I don't like. Dude, why not?
Even more like altruistic or whatever the fuck. It's just like people be like, oh, money can't buy happiness. Take the orphanage to the go-kart park. I thought of that in 5 seconds. You're literally not like if money can't buy happiness, you're not trying and you're selfish. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's so easy. Orphanage to the go-kart park. Fucking buy an arcade. It's that easy, dude.
I think the clarification should be money cannot buy immortality. And that's 100% true. And I think that's what most people mean when they say it. But I don't think either one of us are looking to live forever. I think both of us are looking to live now and that's why we're buying drum sets and instruments of different sorts, because we got to live now. Otherwise, you're going to fucking die like a dud. You're not going to know a cool fucking guitar riff, you loser.
Yeah, dude, I won't. Okay, whatever, dude. You got kids. Well, I have a fucking podcast, and I'm going to learn guitar riffs. Like, so we're doing the same thing, you loser.
I set a goal to learn guitar riffs, idiot. So whatever. Like, he took his first steps. Well, I played fucking Ebola-Rama, so...
I taught my kid how to fucking throw a baseball. That's cool. I set up Streamlabs. Suck my dick.
Yeah, by the way, hey, if you're watching on Facebook right now live, pound off in the comments. I may be able to read them. This is brand new. I'm trying this out. I mean, I have done this before, but not exactly this. This was an idea that I had, and I couldn't exactly figure out how to get it. But and this fucking camera, dude, I got to figure out the goddamn lighting in here because the camera's so good that it's so sensitive to as soon as I move in the light, I turn like kind of red, and then I turn like back to my normal pale white, and it's just awful. I have to get that down. But other than that, I think this is a new way that we can expand the audience a little bit, because
Yeah, dude.
if you like at all what we're doing live here, this is the album we're talking about. You can see we're talking about Enter Shikari, Common Dreads.
Yeah.
This is this was this is something we do every week. We do an album either from our childhood, from a band from our childhood that they're maybe one of their later release, or something that we really influenced us in a way, not just musically but in different ways. Like it was very connected to us emotionally. We've had a couple guests on and had super duper connections to albums. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but
No. You were in the middle of talking. You didn't cut me off.
no, I cut off your interruption, and I apologize.
You're like, what the fuck? You remind me of
Canadian?
Does Dom? Yeah, a goddamn polite ass Canadian. I don't trust him. As a brutish American, I don't fucking trust that kind of behavior.
Makes sense.
But no, what the fuck? I can't remember what the hell it was, but Steph apologized for something the other day that had absolutely nothing to do with her whatsoever. But she's like, "I'm sorry." And I'm like, "You just went into girl default of just like, I'm sorry." And that's how
my
that's
favorite
how,
thing in the world to do. Sorry, I apologize. I
no,
see now. I actually interrupted you.
you predicted the future. You're just no. What were you saying, buddy?
My favorite thing to do right now is to take apologies back. Like you know when like you apologize, like if you accidentally run into somebody in the social contract, like at a grocery store or something like that, you kind of go like, "Oh, whoops, sorry, my bad. You know, pardon me, excuse me. Oh, sorry
I did
about
that
that."
at a concert.
Not like you
I
you bumped into somebody and then like
yeah
apologized to them, and then they didn't
yeah
say anything, and you're like,
I went.
"Fuck you."
Yeah. Me and the wife went with her sister and her sister's husband at the time, and we went to this concert for this band called Jack Off Jill. Because it wasn't like I told you like my protocol if the band's not my band that I like you know
Wife's driving, you're getting drunk.
I get hammered. So I got, and this also we were in a different state, so I got obliterated. Yeah, and
Oh, good.
yeah, I got drunk. I was like having a good time. I turned, spilled my beer all over a guy, and felt bad. And then I was like, fuck, I'm sorry. And then I went to go get another beer, and I was like, I'm gonna give it to this guy because I felt bad. And then I go, I don't know him. I'm in a different state.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? And then I just gave it to my brother-in-law, and I was like, here's a beer, dude. I like you.
Fuck that guy.
I was like, I don't know who that guy is. I'll never see him again. Him and his dumb wet
Right.
shirt will never cross my path. So I just
Perfect.
gave the
Yeah,
beer,
and-
I gave the beer to my brother-in-law. I was like, fuck that guy.
That's the thing is like it is like I've done it so many times. Like literally, it happens the most shopping, where like you're coming out of the mouth of the aisle, you know, like back into the other aisle, like the cross aisle
Yeah.
or whatever. You know, there's like the meat department usually in the back. You got your registers up front, and then you got your aisles that go this way, right, Andy?
Yeah.
And then you're coming out of one of those, and somebody else is coming out hot the other way or going past. And I go, oh, you know, like this. And I go, oh, sorry about that. You know,
Oh, you do
even
the
though
you do
it's like,
you do the white guy. Oh.
oh, pardon me.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Oh.
And then no reaction, no anything. And I go, actually, I take that back. I'm not sorry. And like,
You said that to a
that's
human
when
being?
that's when you get the reaction. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. I take my apologies back all the time. I open a door.
Damn, dude.
A lot of I do
Did
that.
you
And I go,
also-
oh, you know,
Did you also
What?
spend a lot of time taking your fucking big fat cock out of their mouth? That is some alpha shit, dude.
dude, fuck you, dude. I did a
No,
did
I'm
a social
complimenting
contract.
you. I'm
I know, that's what I'm
complimenting you.
That's what I'm saying to them though. Like, fuck you.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't just like not acknowledge like there is whether you want to acknowledge it or not, there's a social contract
Yeah.
where we both know that was neither one of our faults, but
Yeah.
both of us need to acknowledge that oops, we should have been more considerate about the people coming the opposite directions. Double bad, double apology. If you don't acknowledge it, I'm taking my apology back because fuck you. I'm not going to waste one on you, piece of shit.
That's fucking hilarious.
I only got a finite. I only apologize to 3 people a day, Andy.
You only got 3, and those are valuable 3 apologies.
They don't roll over either. There's only 3 a day. And they're all
sorry. I knew the rule. My fault.
Get it off mic.
Yeah,
almost
I know.
Me back to white Pat.
You know, I normally don't like to do it, but I'm vibing with my friend Pat, and I know that's the best way to get the best performance out of Pat is on mic burps.
You gotta match my grossness, because otherwise it's bad news.
Hell
hey,
yeah.
how's it going? We're called Sexy Motherfuckers here by Eileen. Aileen.
Ooh, AC, what's up, dog? All right, so let's hop into talking about this album. Let's answer that question we always ask every week. What about? And I posed the question, what about Common Dreads by Enter Shikari? And the reason I brought this one up, I brought up Enter Shikari a bunch of times doing this podcast. One of my favorite bands ever. I have fallen off, not out of not liking them, just not. You ever like, I don't know. You ever have a band that's just so consistently good that you like almost go like, I don't need to check out their new album right away. I know it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Like there's not like a question mark in my head if it's gonna be. So like that is actually what happened with Enter Shikari, where I actually, in a weird way, they were so consistently good, I was losing. I don't know if it was interest, but I was always like, oh yeah, I'll get to that. Then I realized I missed like their last 3 albums. Or no, last 2 albums.
This is really, it's actually that's a really good comparison, and that brings me into like the first band that they reminded me, because they definitely reminded me of multiple bands. And you did ask me when you suggested the album to name their genre, but the first band that I will acknowledge and that you just reminded me that they reminded me of was Muse.
Muse, okay. See, I don't listen to Muse. Why? I only know like one of their songs because it was used in a show or something. What about what about Muse, or what about Enter Shikari reminded you of Muse? What's Muse like?
First of all, the British element. The fact that they are heavily British made them
heavily British.
As they were very openly British, Andy, and I'll say they were not apologetically. They were unapologetically Brits.
Openly British.
Strike one. No, I would say that part of it, and also like some of the guitar work, like some of the like song structure, like a little bit, but not really. Honestly, it was just mainly the Britishness.
You're a basic bitch, dude.
but I will say this, that this band, like it was definitely all over the place. And you asked when you suggested the band.
Well, wait, let me
okay, that's the thing.
Let me bring that up. So the reason we always like to explain the through line of, because the fun part about this podcast is like every episode is here. Every album we talk about is a result from the previous album we talked about. And Pat brought up Refuse, and the thing I really liked about Refuse was, in a vague sense, you could call them punk, but they're really not a punk band. It was hard to like really pinpoint a genre on a band like Refused, and the band for me like that is Enter Shikari. So if you listen to Enter Shikari, they have a lot of, you could be like, oh yeah, they're kind of like a hardcore band. You're like, well, I just heard a dance part on one of the songs. You know, on part of the song they're doing, excuse me, on some of the songs they're doing breakdowns and like screaming vocals or growling vocals or whatever. But also on other part of the songs, they're doing like fast EDM parts or like slow dubstep parts or shit like that. So that was one of the big reasons.
Which brings me to my second band.
Hit me with it, Patty.
Sky Eats Airplane.
Okay, yeah,
but I'm gonna mix it. Get this, right? Get this. But they remind me specifically.
Wait, hold the
of
fuck
a mix
up.
Between...
Hold the fuck up. I don't mean to cut you off, but if you do that with your fingers again, I'm gonna I'm gonna gush, dude. I'm gushing. I'm gushing. It's too hot. Stop. I'm sorry. Go on. I changed my panties.
He slid off his chair, guys. If you're not watching live, you didn't get to see. He almost fell out of his chair. Uh, there is a third band that they remind me of, and this is how I came up with.
Wait. Before you go to Sky Eats Airplane, I want to acknowledge, like, very stylistically, Sky Eats Airplane is a very good comparison.
Right. It's Sky Eats Airplane, but it's also Thrice. So it's
okay.
Thrice Eats Airplane. That's what I swear to God. I was in the shower. I was listening to this because of the. It's almost like it's like and this is what brought me to the point I think that we were about to get to was you were saying like they were all over the place. They could be this part. You wanted me to not only listen to the album, review it like normal, or like go over it to discuss it like we always do, but like also like try to pinpoint what kind of genre you would categorize Enter Shikari under, and I did, but this is the exciting part. I had to create a new genre to do it.
Okay.
So this band, the best way I could really sum up this band from listening to the whole of their songs, this album in particular, was I think of them like almost like reverse dubstep. But reverse dubstep in the sense of like it doesn't do the pretty parts and then doesn't go into the heavy parts. It does the heavy parts into a pretty part. And it does the heavy mechanical part into a pretty part. The pretty part sounds like Thrice when they do their choruses and stuff like that.
Okay.
The screaming reminded me a lot of Thrice, like the screaming vocals. But I would say since it has a heavier element than dubstep, it goes from poppy to heavy, but heavy in a hardcore sense. It's more like this genre for Enter Shikari is officially dub stomp.
Dub stomp?
Dub stomp.
Okay. Wait, isn't stomp already like a genre?
No, well, like stomp, like instead of dub step, it's dub stomp. It's a lot heavier.
Ooh, get the fuck out of here with your brilliance, you sexy son of a bitch. Dub stomp.
All of this happened in the shower, so I probably had my dick in my hand when I thought of it, just to give you the visual.
you were balls deep in your wife on her fucking ninth orgasm, and you're like, I figured it out.
So it's get the fuck out of the way, and I got my notepad out and I wrote it down.
You came enough already, lady. Get the fuck out of here. Damn, dub stomp. Dub stomp's a really good way to put it. I wasn't prepared for that to fucking hit the way it hit.
I didn't actually think that I would actually come up with a category because, like I said, with like you said, you can go a lane, but they are all over. You like the ADD bands, I'll tell you that much. From what was the other one, Streetlight Manifesto, where they didn't have they went to like this part to this part to this part.
Day to Remember was like that.
Maybe it was a Day to Remember. Maybe, was that,
and then I picked August Burns Red as one of the best metal songs. And dude, even Dally's Gone Wrong was a real ADD band. I do like the ADD bands. I think it's because, well, like it's the reason I like Every Time I Die so much. I think with, I always fucking figure out a way to shoehorn like I have anxiety, but also too like I do have like ADD shit going on. So I think a lot of times, because for me, music can be a very like emotional experience. It's like, it's like an emotion driven experience. So I like listening to stuff that sort of matches my headspace at times. Not to say I never will listen to like some soft acoustic stuff or whatever like that. But 9 times out of 10, I'm having like some spaz moment in my head. So I need some music to like match that. Yeah, because I like that. I like a song that kind of goes all over the place, but still thematically is like still thematically consistent. That's why I like August Burns Red, and I do really like that one song. But the reason I don't listen to them as a whole a shit ton is because a lot of their stuff tends to be here's just a bunch of cool shit.
Yeah. I think that's the Enter Shikari thing was I didn't like the first song right off the bat was because I did appreciate this album for sure because it reminded me it like it didn't I can't think of a way to say it like not I mean it's not even like I'm not even saying like douchey. I'm just saying like it all of the songs like invoke a different kind of like emotion or a different like
Well, they have
uh
the
genre or
song.
band, like a it's like a different thing. Each one of the things it does like kind of jut like there's a what is it juxtaposition, right? What is it?
Yeah.
I can't think, I'm out of my element here with words, but like it switches gears so quickly that like you don't get used to anything, but there's still a lot of like emotion to it. Like
Well,
it's weird. Like
so
it's
they
emo
have.
dubstep. Like it's literally that's what it is.
Yeah. They the thing is they have a little bit of everything with their stuff. So they'll have a song like Juggernauts, which has that like like the fast almost like almost akin to a blast beat, but then it switches to slow parts and stuff. But then they'll have a song like No Sleep Tonight, which is a very traditional song like pop song format, and it's actually probably the pop like the most mainstream song on this album. But yeah, like No Sleep Tonight has the verse chorus bridge chorus key change chorus, which by the way I was trying to I love key changes. Do you know what a key change is, right?
Yeah, the thing that you put on your like keys to like to decorate like or you like have like a little light on
Yeah,
there.
you get a little flair. You get a little flair. You put like a little bottle opener so you can be like the cool guy who hooks people up at the party and stuff like that.
Yeah. I
No.
like being the cool guy that brings up the fact that why do they put beer bottle openers on car keys? You know, like they would. I'm that guy.
and then you
A lot of
give
fun at parties.
what?
I said I'm a lot of fun at parties.
Why do they park in a driveway, driving a parkway? Please be my friend. But you know what I mean, right? On a key change. But
Yes,
actually,
yeah.
if anyone doesn't know a key change, it's essentially they play the chord progression. Oh God, if you don't know what a chord progression is, no, I'm sure you know what a chord progression is. They basically play the chord progression in another key, so it's like the same but different, and it's a really easy way to make the song different and not do that much different.
Yeah, it's an easy way to make it sound like you did a lot with doing so little, like
Yeah.
so fucking little, like almost like when you bar the when you're doing like a power chord or something like that, and you just bar that extra string, you just drop, you know what I mean? Like you do that where it just meets it up a little bit more. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about like playing in drop D?
Like guitar, yeah, like that, but you're not tuned in drop D. When you do that with like a regular power chord, it just adds that more meat. You never done that?
I'm not 100% sure what you're saying.
Okay, I might maybe I don't know how to say it technically, so I'm going to tap out of this one and just say if you don't know what I'm talking about, then or if you do know what I'm talking about, pound the fuck off in the comments. But if you don't, sorry for confusing you because I'm not a guitar player.
Fuck yeah, dude. The other one is using a capo.
What the fuck is that?
You don't know a capo?
No.
It's basically when
Yeah, that's why I said what the fuck is that? That wasn't a clue.
Damn, dude.
What the fuck was that when they know what it is?
Damn, dude. I really just did that thing people fucking do.
I was like, wait, no, I don't.
And you're just gonna like, may I please refer to what I just said as my response still?
Oh, you don't know what a capo is? Yes, I do, Andy. Obviously, but can you just tell these fucking idiots?
I know, but please tell the group.
I was identifying with these dumbasses.
Damn, dude, I'm a sack of shit. No, a capo is this little it's almost like a clamp you put on one of the frets. So
Okay.
you can play it's like you know how like yeah, you can just play like fuck.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like a little clamp you put on a certain fret, so it just you could like play open chords, but it'll be higher up and things will sound a little bit different. That's like another.
Chip
What?
clips. I use chip clips or clothesline hangers, like the little clips for the clothesline. You know, the little clothespins.
Damn, fucking DIY brother over here.
Yeah. Well, I'm poor as fuck, and then also going like, how the fuck could somebody get one of these? And like not even realizing I could just go to the music store. I was a real stupid kid.
You go to every. Who the fuck could have one of those? Who could imagine how you get one of those?
I thought to do comedy, you had to go to either New York City or LA. And I thought the only way you could get one of those chip clip things was either go get signed and get a sponsor that's going to send you those because I don't know how to ask for it. I don't know how to ask for it at the music store. I can just go like, you know the thing that you put on the thing. And
That's why they need to. That's why they need to have a fucking environment at all those music stores where you're just like, hey man, it's safe to be dumb as fuck in here. That's why I always hated. That's why I always hated going to GameStop back in the day. And to be honest, I'm happy they're closing down. We don't fucking need them because you fucking hire pretentious nerds and they're mean to me when I want to buy like a fucking ATV or dirt bike game. They're fucking mean to me.
Outlaw Andy's here. I like it. Pound off, buddy. I'll tell you the funniest fucking interaction I've had at the music store that speaks to exactly what you're fucking saying. I went there. I got this bass from a buddy of mine, a bass guitar, and it's missing a fucking the volume knob.
Capo.
And I'm like, all right, well, yeah, the capo, the capo for the volume. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just go to fucking Guitar Center and I'll just buy a fucking pack of knobs. How hard could that be? I have a Fender fucking bass. Could I just get some a knob? I just need one, but I'll take two. I don't give a shit. I'll put two new ones on there. I'm gonna spring for it. I don't give a fuck.
Fuck it. Give me two.
So I bought them. Give me two.
How's it?
And
How
I
expensive
took it
is
home.
a knob?
Doesn't fit. Fuck.
Really?
So I'm like, all right, well, this is embarrassing. Got to go back and go, this one's the right one. I think this is guitar. I need bass guitar. And they go, oh, okay. And I already got the one off the shelf. And I was like, I think this is right. Is this right? And he goes, yeah, this should be right. I said, cool. And I got it and I took it home and it still doesn't fit. And I was too embarrassed to take it back. And now the expiration date is gone on the receipt. And I'm too embarrassed, even more so now, to take it back a third time to get more wrong ones. So I'm just settled with no knob, and I have knobs that I can't use.
So you just have the metal little.
You can make a chart. If you want some new knobs, I can send them to you.
If I need knobs, I'll just hit you up, dude.
Oh
fuck!
I'm your knob guy. I was too embarrassed to go back and go like, because I was like, if the same guy's there, I'm gonna feel like such a piece of shit. Going like, what? Like, he's like, are you even playing it? Like, do you even like? You can still turn it up without the knob. You know that, right? You don't need the knob.
Yeah,
like
there's that little metal nipple that you would put the knob on top of.
Yeah, that's all you need. You don't need anything else. So what? Why not just keep it like that?
That's what a man who's afraid to ask for a third time tells himself. Let's get back. Another thing I wanted to say about this album is why listening to it. There's a lot of things to say, and I want to try to remember all the different ones. The one I'm thinking of right now is this could either, from my friend's perspective, this could be either a good or a bad thing. But this was a great like entry level album to start giving a fuck about politics. Because did you sort of read the political message going on throughout the album?
No, I actually a lot of. Are you talking about like the talky parts?
Well, just the general like lyrical theme throughout the album.
Seem angry. Seem upset.
Well, I think the way they do it on what?
I did not. No, that's sorry. Short answer, no.
Oh, okay. Well, no, because that actually kind of what you're saying actually kind of aids to my point in a way, because for someone like you who didn't for a guy like fucking this fucking guy over here. No,
Somebody
but
like a piece of shit idiot like you know, like somebody worthless and fucking idiotic like you, stupid.
yeah, fat-titted fucking idiot. Um,
Yes,
no,
Andy. Yes, I get it now. Okay, yes, me,
no,
me.
but like for you, you listened to it and you liked it, yes?
I honestly, I wanna continue. Like I actually, it's so fucking weird because you say that much like the genre aspect. I can't just say like yes or no. Like I liked it, but I didn't
Okay.
like I wouldn't be like I want to revisit it because like continue to revisit it because the more I listened to it, I had such it it like I like it because you know what? No matter what, this is the most artistic, one of the most artistic albums I think I've listened to in the sense that it evoked so many different feelings and thoughts.
No,
Like
you know
truly,
what? I'll
genuine,
take I'll take a pause.
like different weird thoughts.
Let's pause on the political thing because that's actually like that's another area I want to go into because for me, I didn't like I grew up mainly listening to when did this album come out? I got it up right here. Sorry, let me just check it real quick. This album came out in '09. That would have been like my first year of college. So up until then, I was really only listening to pop punk, punk rock, ska, emo music, stuff like that. Very, like I've said before, I listened to pop punk and emo, so I was very pretentious, obviously, and I like looked down my nose at like EDM and electronic and dubstep and stuff like that. So for me, kind of going to what you said, where like artistically what they were doing, like I'm listening to this and I'm just like, this I'm like spazzing out because I'm like, this is making me like electronic music.
Yeah,
Cause like for me, not used to any of that electronic stuff, I hear this, I literally am hearing sounds I've never heard before. So
yeah.
like just hearing this album was fucking a lot for me the first time.
This
And
is
that's
a
like
go ahead.
no. And I was just gonna say that's just like that's why that was one of many elements why it was such like a big deal for me the first time I heard this.
Yeah, I think that's the part of it is like it it had like sound. That's why I think that's the thing with like Muse, the comparison to Muse, or even like weird sound effects and things like that, weird elements and evoking those feelings. That's why like all of those, it reminded me of all of those things, of Sky Eats Airplane, of Thrice, of Reggie in like a couple instances Reggie in the Full Effect, and like a couple different bands that just like it's all over the place, and it's something that I definitely respect, but I don't necessarily know if it's my love or go to thing. But that's why I want to revisit it because maybe there is a political element that I still have yet to pick up on my first couple, you know, scans. These are just my thoughts that I was able to. My one of my biggest thoughts was who do you think started saying reckon first? Like
What?
cowboys or British people? Because in
Well,
the song The Jester, he says
yeah.
reckon, and this and I and like I would like the for my brain went to that first, was like, do you think that like British people took it from cowboys, or did cowboys did like when who said reckon first?
Yeah, you do smoke weed, dude. I fucking love you so much.
Don't you love the fact that British people say reckon? Who says
Wait,
reckon?
what part does he say reckon in
In the song The Jester. I think it's at the talky part at the beginning, or maybe
simmer
it's at
down, ladies and gentlemen, you're acting rather irresponsibly. Yeah,
says
I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh yeah. So I reckon it's just about time we roast this swine. That's a good point. Who said reckon first? We might have to go check. That might have been one of those things that happened separately.
Mhm.
Like Brits and Cowboys were doing it on their own, and then we
Right.
just then they just like
But like
stab.
nobody else says howdy.
Well, that's the thing. We all, because this is the common misconception about a cultural appropriation. We assume it's just on its face level a bad thing, but like everyone takes everyone else's culture, and then we go and maybe the Cowboys took Wreckin' from the Brits, and they're like, I'll take your Wreckin' and raise you a howdy, and then now we're in a better place because we got howdy in our lives.
Right. And then the Brits were like, yeah, you can keep that one. They were
know what? You know what? You fucking ruined it with your bollocks, chip cheerio. You keep it.
We're good with Reckon. We're just gonna take Reckon.
You fucked it up. You fucked it up. You can't.
I don't know if this is another word. Maybe this is a word for being drunk or anything like that. But the song "Zonked" I feel like that song in particular got it right, and not only did it get it right, like got it perfect. Like what they were, I think what this band is about. I don't know if this is, a lot of bands will put out like an album or two in the same, if they're a really, really good band, like a good album producing band.
Yeah.
They will put out an album in a style like like one or two, maybe possibly three, depending, it might be like a transition album, like of different styles. I feel like if whatever style they were looking for, it's the same thing with like Every Time I Die. We even talked about that on the episode. We talked about Hot Damn. We discussed like they don't even love their first album. Like they were still trying to figure something out. I feel like whatever they were trying to figure out, or whatever the combination.
Wait, to be specific, you're talking about the Burial Plot bidding war.
Yes, that one.
And then even last night in town, I think, because there's that great work. If you guys don't know, there's this amazing video of like they're interviewing like Keith Buckley and I think Jordan Buckley, and just flat out being like, "How do you feel about these old albums?" And they're just like so fucking straight up about it. It's amazing. And I remember them being like, last night in town, they're like, "Yeah, there's some good songs, but it's kind of that we were younger and this and that." That's like sort of the vibe about it.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. But I feel like Zonked, that song is like the pinnacle of what this album is. That is exact, or at least what I really appreciate about what this band does. I like that was like not only was it a song that I liked the most on the album, but it's a song so much that I actually added to my personal motherfucking playlist, Andy.
So wait. Hold. Stop.
Hey,
calm down.
Stop.
Crew.
Stop with hammering.
Crew. Just. Are you telling me Zonked has become get over here. All right, too close. Are you telling me that's actually going to make you not hear this? You don't want to put that back on. Are you telling me Zonked has become a slappy bopper?
No, not that playlist.
God damn it.
Go keep hammering. No, there's a get it hammered.
All right, hammer.
No,
we're really behind on schedule now.
You stopped hammering for like almost a full minute. Now we're behind a minute hammering. You're probably behind 2 minutes before lunch, but it's on my personal playlist, which is private. I don't necessarily share that one. It is entitled Payest because there are no L's. So I am saying that this is officially an unskippable song.
No, very true. And I'm actually happy you brought up literally the first two songs you brought up were Jester and Zonked, which I think off this album are the like top two songs on this album. And like you said, if someone was, especially in this time period, maybe it would be a little different now if you little bit different now if you checked out sort of later Enter Shikari. It's sort of shifted, but especially in that time period, Zonked was probably like the best example of like, what's this band like? Mm-hmm. What's a song of theirs that's really gonna fucking get me first time I hear it? And it's that one, because just the God damn, that's definitely a big dance drunk in the kitchen tune for Andy. It just
Yeah.
it's that one particularly too. I would regularly, cause you know me, I'm prone to get a little bit get a case of the sads, come down with a case of the self dips, be hard on myself, and like this band to me, some of the songs they write are so good that it legitimately makes me depressed.
Yeah.
Legitimately, because I just hear it and I go, I will not I will not make anything this creative. I will not make anything this smart. And Zonked is a perfect example. Like, I have the lyrics pulled up where he goes, oh yeah, he goes, mate, please accept this invitation so I can take you away, because there's 1 in 40,000 chance that asteroid Apophis will collide with the Earth in less than 20 years. Like, he's talking about a specific asteroid that might, like, ruin the Earth. What else has he said? Instead of staring at your stella desperately for inspiration, belt up and quiver at your indignation. And it's just like that level of, like, that's not an overly heady, but it just has this intelligent vibe to it. Like it's like, I just feel like the general IQ of the music and the lyrics and stuff are a little bit higher, and but then with a song like Zonked, mixing that with the general fast pace and rowdiness of a song like that, with the complicated synth over top and stuff like that, it's just one of those things that you're like, this is fucking great, I love this, da da da. But then, like, the self-deprecating part kicks in and you're like, I'll never make anything this great in my goddamn life. And it's this weird experience. Music's very emotional for me, I gotta tell you, because there were legitimately parts where, like, I took a break from listening to this band because it, like, fucked with me. Like, they were so good, it fucked with me. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, that is kind of strange, because a lot of times, like, the Zonked in particular was a song that I had to listen to. Like, I listened to it multiple times. Like, there was a couple replays. There was it was like a thing where, like, where each song I was like, yeah, it's all right, this is pretty good. Like, it's not like, it's just weird, like, but it's truly art in that sense, because it was either, like, for me, a lot of times, like, I can be like, yeah, that's a nice painting, I can appreciate something about it, even
Yeah.
if it necessarily, like, make me go like, oh, like, this is the best thing in the world. I can still go like, oh, I appreciate the, like, the, not, I don't even want to say the effort, because that makes it sound like condescending, but like, oh, I see what you did there, like.
Let me add this, actually, because I'm now, as I'm talking about it, I'm thinking it out. And, like, so this is a band for me that I've seen probably 4 times live. 3 maybe? 3 or 4 times live. And they pump out a lot of, like, high quality live performances on their YouTube channel. And they have one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best live shows. It's really interesting for, like, a band that's so heavily electronic. Most of their songs that they play very rarely sound like the album recording. You know what I mean? They'll often have these, like, cool electronic jam sessions,
Yeah,
like, before or in between, and just we always talked about it before, like, like, for the band when they're playing live, like, give me a show. I know what the fucking song sounds like. Give me a show. And, like,
right.
Enter Shikari just puts on, like, the raw emotion that they fucking expunge live, the excitement. Like, they look like they're so goddamn happy to be on that stage playing the song for you. Like, that's another big part about them. Like, anytime I watch any of their live footage, they just have this energy of, like, thank you for letting us play this for you. And it just, remembering that and then going back and listening to this stuff, it adds this other level of like, I always say, I like bands that write songs that have a vibe of, I needed to get this out. I needed this. This was stuck in my head and I needed to get it out of my head. And I don't know if you're going to like it or not, but here it is. This is what I needed to get out. And that's what I get a lot from Enter Shikari. And they're just like the raw energy and the excitement. It just fucking hits me in the right way, Daddy. Hits me in the right way, Daddy.
No, I think that's
I meant to say Daddy, and I said Dad, and it sounded fucking weird for a second.
That sounded a lot weirder than just Daddy. But no, there's an element to this that I thought about listening to the album, and I was like, I bet I would love to see this band perform live. And it's so funny because that's exactly what you were just saying was because whatever they're aside from the song Zonked or anything like that, like they're not able to fully like kind of convey that message to me every time. So I think I would get it more, or maybe whatever, or actually I this is a band also where I think I'm going to check out more of the other releases that they have. But this was obviously the one that was like the pinnacle for you, or was this your introduction?
This was not my introduction, but so their first album, Take This to the Skies, I got on that late, like after the album got released. Shout out the first Pat I ever loved, Patrick Edwards. He he introduced me to Enter Shikari, and then but like I kind of got on board that late. But then this is their second album. This is like the first album of theirs I got right when it came out, so it kind of hit me in a bigger way. And also too, their first album. This is the cool thing too about them is if you listen to them, they progressively get more and more advanced in their music because you can kind of hear in their first album. Like, well, you can just hear in their music. You're like, oh, he got a new piece of equipment. Because their lead singer's the guy that does all the synth stuff. Mm-hmm. So you can just hear musically. You're like, he bought a new instrument. He bought a new computer thing. He bought a new thing. And that's the other fun part about listening to them. The way they progress sonically is they always expand their sound every album, and it's very fun.
I guess that's the best way to put it. It's like it seems like even though it like the whatever message or emotions they're sharing or whatever, like they're still having fun doing it, and that definitely comes through also. So it's cool that you were able to appreciate the
great
the
burp, Dad.
Hey, thanks, son. Thanks, Sonny boy.
I've been having a couple beers, and the second I said fucking Dad earlier, I'm like, I hate myself. That sounded so weird.
Thanks, Dad. No problem. I'll catch later.
It was just on par of like calling a teacher Dad. Just so like, what just happened?
I was trying to explain it to Don the other day. I said, I don't think girls have that in school. I don't think girls have the same. I don't know. Honestly, pound off in the chat. If I don't think girls had that fear of calling a teacher mommy, not mom or anything like that, but mommy. Did you have that fear? I almost did it a couple times.
I can't
mommy.
remember.
Not saying oh, thanks, mommy. Just like passing by, like you just like, oh, everybody hand these in, hand in your papers, and you hand them the test, and they're just like, oh, thanks, Pat, and you just go, no problem, mommy. Like, like something like that. You're like, oh, like thanks, mommy. Like,
I know I did that once or twice I know I said Dad once or twice. I can't remember if I ever did Mom.
You literally just did that.
No, to a teacher. Not a friend I'm secretly banging.
Don't make me send you to your room. I'll make your ass red, buddy. Pound your ass.
I hate it. You're the worst dad ever.
I am.
I've been drinking fucking Mooseheads all day. I'm fucking fast and loose with my
Canadian beer, huh? Going Canadian lager today.
Yeah, I've been Steph, oh my God. Steph looked at me and just fucking was like, I hate you because I said something. Well, no, I was telling her about like how I buy my beer, and I usually like if I get 2 6-packs, I usually try to go 2 different countries with the 6-packs. She's just
Nice. International Andy, I like it.
and she just goes, "That's cool," and I was like, "Oh, is that lame? Like, am I?" And I just was like, "All right, cool, fuck me, I guess."
Dude, okay. Hey, full transparency. We both know that neither one of our wives watch these, right? So
I
you
do
ever
them
just
in
want to
my.
like
I do them in my dining room, and I talk very loud, so she
okay,
hears my end of this all the time.
so shake your head yes or no to this. Sometimes you just want to tell your wife, "Fuck you," like, 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 do you ever want to just be like, "Fuck you, man"? Like, I remember one time, dude. I swear to God, this was before we were married, and this is why I specified wife, because I would never tell my wife this. But when I was dating Dominique, we were at, we were at a bookstore, and I pointed at this. I was like, and this was we were getting to know each other, so this was me obviously not being comfortable with who I am, and she helped me with that. But I was like, oh, and we were there with her little sister. We were at a bookstore, and I picked up this book, and I was like, oh, I found this comedy book. It was like an autobiography or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And she goes, well, are you gonna read that? And I go, fuck you. And I was like, what do you think I'm gonna buy it for? Like it was just like so dismissive and so rude to me. Like immediately, like her sister like busted out laughing, and it was just like, hey, like what the fuck do you think we're here for? Are you gonna read it? Like a mom, like well, are you gonna take care of it? You know, like that kind of thing. Of like, damn. But like she was right. I didn't read it. Like,
I had that recently where we were going to my parents for the weekend, and then yeah, we were going to my parents for the weekend, and then I asked her, and I was like, "Hey, did you pack up any of my stuff for the weekend?" And she just goes, "No, because I'm not your mom." I just remember being like, "Okay."
oh,
Well, and then I was just like, "I'm sorry, you've done that before. It's not my fault."
yeah, like that's not out of line. Like I mean, like I'm still an idiot. Like I know you don't need to change my diaper, but I'm still a fucking moron. Like you know that I'm a moron. Uh-oh.
What?
She heard you. God damn it.
She said, "Oh yeah, I have to make it clear. She said that as a joke."
Yes, we know. That's the thing is like she didn't even say that as a joke. She meant that like literally like oh like I don't know why she asked me if I was going to read that book, but it was like it was a genuine question of like that thing of like well, you know like maybe it was because maybe she never heard me talk about it before. It could have been anything, but it was just like one of those things of like my initial reaction was just like, "Hey man, fuck your like fuck you. You can't say that." Yeah, I think I'm gonna. That's the intention of buying a book is I think I'm gonna take it home and I'm gonna read it. No, I don't normally do that, but
That's not in my normal repertoire, but I might this time.
but it was the fact. This was the point, and this was the principle of the fact that she didn't know that I was a stupid illiterate moron. She was assuming correctly that I
You
was a
don't
moron, and I was like, "Hey, that hurts that you assumed correctly. Can you take it down a notch? We're in front of your little sister."
you not assume properly before you've gotten all the info.
Like at least maybe go like, "Oh, I can tell he's not that much of a reader." Like when I'm bringing the book up, go like, "Hey, let's check to see if there's an audio version." I go, "Good idea."
That's so funny.
But when you word it are you even gonna read? Like, I don't think she said even. I definitely added the even. But she's like, "Are you gonna read that?" Like, yeah, man. That's what I fucking I'm gonna color it. There's no pictures in it. Oh wait, there's no pictures. I'm not gonna get this.
There's not one picture? Fuck this book.
Oh, wait, hold on. I thought there was pictures in the back at least, but there's nothing here.
The last thing, we should wrap this up soon because I'm drunk and I have an angry wife. So
God damn it.
no. The last thing I wanted to say was No, the thing I was saying earlier about the political message is I was happy to hear actually that you said, oh, it wasn't like the political message and it wasn't super obvious, which I think in my opinion is like the best way to do a political message, to where it kind of makes that shit a little bit more a little bit more accessible. You know what I mean? And you don't, because like if you just kind of go like out, like just on Front Street very clearly, like this is how I feel, this is what I think, you know, they go about it in a way, excuse me, they go about it in a way that's a little bit more artistic. They're not just like upfront blunt saying specifically what they think. They kind of have a little bit of like pizzazz about it, and I think that is like for anything, especially too, because like younger people are definitely listening to their shit and stuff like that. And it's like this album to me is just an example of the best way to go about doing a political album, where it's not just up front hitting you over the head with this is exactly how I think. They're like I said before, they're being artistic about it. So they're able to, if you're not going there to be political and shit, if you're not going to this album for politics and stuff like that, you can enjoy it the exact same way someone who's like super political. And I know, and yeah, and just for me, this was definitely a cool album to transition into like giving a shit about politics, because you take the cool band writing hardcore, you know, EDM music, dubstep music, who's like, yo, you know, like you can talk about politics and not be completely annoying all the time. Did that completely transition to me? No, but, you know, because I think that's like the biggest thing there's like, especially some of the like political things that aren't as popular or have the reputation of being annoying. It's like, it's always great when you can get different bands or whatever that's like, hey, here's the political thing that's not annoying. I really enjoy when someone can do that very well, and I think Enter Shikari does it really well.
Yeah, I think so, and I think also, just to piggyback on that, I think Upfront Blunt would be a great rap name. So I think I think when you say Upfront Blunt, I think that's just a perfect rap name, and I think the fact that they were able to inspire even that shows you the levels and layers to the artistic inspiration that this album in particular can offer. And whether like it or not, I don't think you can necessarily it it's almost like it's a way I approach a lot of stand-up specials a lot. I feel like if I don't watch them with somebody,
comedy's
like I have
weird
to watch
by
it
yourself.
But if I do, I have to watch it a couple times. Like it's a weird thing, like to where, like, because I'm just gonna be like, it's just a strange thing. That's just how it is. So like, even though I didn't, it wasn't like, oh, I need to shut this off. Like that it didn't give me that. So I know I like it. Like it was, and it wasn't like, oh, I have to listen to this for, because if I really hated the album, I would have shut it off. But I don't fully know how I feel about the band yet. But I'm definitely intrigued, and I'm glad that you brought them up.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, if you listen to some of their other stuff, let me know. If you end up, not saying you have to or anything, but if you listen to their other stuff, bring it up on the next episode and we'll chit and fucking chat, baby.
Oh, I reckon I will.
So, Pat, with this episode coming to a close, I got to ask you, for next week, what about what? What about?
Well, next week? Is that what you're asking? Well,
yeah.
Andy, I reckon that there was a lot. There was a couple albums that came to mind, but there was one for sure that almost in that same way that you're talking about, of like it just puts me in a better mood kind of thing. Like it puts me in like I fucking rock out in the kitchen album, like that kind of album, and something kind of in this vein. And I'm sure it's a band that you're familiar with, whether it even just be by name or if you actually like. I'm not sure how much we've actually gotten into it, but it would be an album by the band The Dillinger Escape Plan.
Hell yeah.
And it will be the album One of Us is a Killer.
Oh, I think I know that one.
It's one of the recent releases.
I got big into Dillinger Escape Plan a couple months ago.
They are this album in particular is it just and not to say like it's not an album, it's an earlier, like I said, it's one of their more earlier or more recent releases, so it's not like an album that I grew up listening to or listened to at like those younger
Yeah,
times.
2013.
Normally like when was it?
2013.
That's when this album came out.
Yeah.
One of Us is a Killer came out that time. Holy shit! I didn't know that was that.
That's what Spotify says.
That's crazy. No. That I mean, that I'm sure they're telling the truth. I hate to call Spotify a liar, but
yeah, no, it's
that
I googled it. It's 2013.
Wow, that's crazy. So I guess it is close to that same time. I didn't realize it was that far back, but this album is, I feel, that is my favorite album of theirs in particular, of Dillinger Escape Plan. But it's also very reminiscent, I think, of this album. And I think, and this is a hard pound. This is Outlaw Patch pounding off real hard right at the end. But I think this is one of the, if not the best mixed albums, best produced, like mixed, like the audio mix on this album.
Okay.
Phenomenal. It's flawless. If you can, I highly suggest listening to this at least once or twice if you do multiple listens to the albums with headphones. I do suggest that. It's not necessary, or on like whatever your favorite method of listening to music, make time to do it for this album at least one or two listens.
Yeah.
It is, because you will appreciate it so much more, especially being a fan of them already. I'm excited to hear that you're a fan of theirs already, but this album with that view, it being, and I will put it up against, I want the challenge. Put up an album that you think is better mixed than this. If you think there's something that is, it's just a flawless, perfect final cut of an album.
Okay.
It's perfect. Everything is perfect on it. I would not change, you gotta maybe make this a little bit louder. Maybe I'd like more bass, or the bass tone's a little weird, or what, like something weird about an album that you're like,
yeah.
It stood out. Like, that's the thing, is it stood out to me like, damn, this sounds perfect. It sounds perfect. So they put the time in, and that's a band that, whether you're familiar with them or not, I highly suggest listening to this particular, because I would like to see if you think like, oh, this is a better mix, or in your particular so that's the extra thing. You know how you said add the genre to the album last time? Think of if you can find an album, it can be a classic album, can be anything. It could be a remaster, even if remasters, that's another release.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just perfect, man. I love this album. I can't wait to hear through that lens.
Cool.
Your perspective with this album.
Yeah, I'm excited because, like I said, like in the past year, I've definitely like taken the time to check out the Dillinger Escape Plan. So I've probably heard a few songs off this album, but not like listened to it from start to finish. First to last song.
I love it.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out. We will see you next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, answering that goddamn question, what about? Pat, I love you. This was great. I'm going to go eat something and
you're drunk. I forgot.
Have another beverage. Yeah, and also, too, I'm taking a break from drinking, so these episodes will get better. All right, dude. This has been great. Everyone, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Be about it.